I was 5 years old when I arrived in Canada. I remember the first day landing at the airport and then we took the subway home, and I didn't know what the houses were like in Canada. And so when I was in the subway, I remember seeing a blue light at the end of the stall, the stand that we stand on, and thinking that, okay, maybe you go up that ladder and go into that blue light, and behind there, that's where the houses were. And then I remembered being at school in the wintertime and really wanting to play outside in the snow, and then getting that opportunity to do that. But then it got so cold, and the 15 minutes seemed like such a long time. And I so desperately wanted to go back in because I thought, I just want to play a little bit and go in. And there was no way to get back in because it was recess time. So I had to get acclimatized to that. At 5 years old, I had such a totally different concept of what Canada was and what my life would be like, and everything was just unfolding. My neighborhood growing up was a very diverse neighborhood where people came from all over the world, and primarily I would say it was a Greek neighborhood, and it still is. It was the East York area around the Danforth, and despite us coming from various parts of the world, we all enjoyed each other's culture, and we celebrated each other's food, each other's music and occasions, and we didn't really have different months to mark our celebrations, but we just did this on a daily basis, and that's just what it meant to be Canadian and growing up in Canada. Our parents told us work hard and go to school, get a good education, and that's what's going to distinguish you. And I don't think it was that really pushed me towards continuing in my studies. I somehow there was just this notion that I had to continue. Even when I did my Master's of Environmental Studies, it wasn't something that was lucrative. It wasn't something that I would get a job from. It was just something that I just knew I had to do because somehow I knew that those skills would be applied at a certain point in time, and not only for my benefit, but just for the betterment of society. So what inspired me to be a lawyer was I've always just wanted to help people. And when I was younger, I talked a lot. And so my father gave me a nickname, the Little Barrister. So before I even knew what a barrister was, I knew that it was somebody who talked for a living. And it was just stuck with me. And I always just knew that I would go into law. And then once I found out what the profession was about, I knew that there was a real profound ability to affect change and to impact on the lives of people. And so it was something that I was very desirous of doing. I've had quite a few defining moments in my law career that has impacted me. I think some of them were the most emotionally draining cases that I've had to deal with. But I think one of the most profound moments that I've had as a lawyer was when I left Bay Street, and I had to kind of juggle and make sure that I could make ends meet, and I didn't have the corporate clients, and I had to start all over. And so I started doing criminal law. And I remember one incident that there was a young man, and he was charged with assaulting his same-sex partner. And at that point in time, HIV wasn't very known. And also same-sex partners weren't something that was very common. And so there was a lot of shame around his act in the court, and also he was HIV positive. And so they didn't know how to bring him up to the courtroom. And every time I talk about it, I get emotional. So they didn't know how to bring him up to the courtroom with the rest of the people that were, sorry, I get very emotional when I talk about it. Just give me a minute. I haven't talked about it in so long, and it happened years ago, right? I was doing duty counsel, and so I noticed that 2 days have gone by, and this person without a criminal record hasn't had his bail hearing. And so I had a day off, and then I went back, and I think this was maybe the 4th or the 5th day, and I noticed he was still not brought up for a bail hearing. So I went down and I said, "What's happening? You're not being brought up for a bail hearing." So then I spoke to the guards and I said, "What's going on? Why isn't this person without a criminal record brought up for a bail hearing? It's been more than 24 hours. The law states that everybody is obligated, even if you're a murderer, you are obligated to be brought before the court within 24 hours for your bail hearing. So then they said, oh, we don't know, we haven't had time because we can't bring him in with population. And so that really, really upset me. And so I went in the court, and I remember just like really, really getting very angry, which I don't do very often in professional settings. But I was very, very upset. And I told the judge, I said, he has to have a bail hearing. It's been 5 days. And then he also told me that he was sleeping on the floor because they didn't know where to put him. They didn't have a bed for him, and that they didn't give him his HIV medication for 5 days. So I was very upset, and I spoke to the judge and I said, I don't care, clear out the entire courtroom and bring him in for his bail hearing. He had a good plan to make sure that he wouldn't reoffend and that there was no public danger. And so he walked out of there, he got his bail hearing and walked out of there. And then I remember after that, the media just coming after me and saying what happened and trying to get an interview. And I thought it was no big deal what I did, because it was just somebody who, that's what I was trained to do as a lawyer. I saw injustice, and I saw somebody being treated in a subhuman way, and I don't know if it's my faith or the way I was raised, but I knew something was wrong and that a person should not be treated that way, and I had to do something about it. I remember that, and I always think about him, and yeah. Well, my dream for Canada is to see a really united country, to see us overcome our differences, to see us build a nation that's based on love and compassion, and be a prosperous nation, to recognize our natural endowments, to be able to develop our natural resources and to build our country and be self-reliant, and also to be a beacon of hope and opportunity for countries around the world. I know that when my parents immigrated here, they came here because of the democracy. They came here because of the Canadian dream. They came here because of the fundamental freedoms, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of belief, and also the freedom to earn a living and to make a good living and to build a future for their children. And so I feel that these freedoms are being eroded in many ways, and so I'm very, very concerned, and I think that my vision for Canada would just to see a restoration of our democracy, these fundamental freedoms, and for us to be self-sufficient and to be a beacon of hope and opportunity for all around the world again. My message for Canadians would be to be united, always look for the good, and that we can build this country based on honor. We have to restore honor. We have to demonstrate that we have certain values that we respect, and we do that by the way we vote. We do that by helping our neighbor. We do that by building this country and making sure that there's opportunities for future generations. And I think that it's just very important to know that we are at a crossroads and we can determine our future, and that future could be one that's based on love, honor, and mutual respect.